Thank you, Dr. Park, Dr. Price, and SAGES for this opportunity to present today. So I have nothing to disclose, but I should mention that I am the president of Project Haiti, which is a NGO, 501c3 charitable humanitarian organization. And I am on SAGES Global Affairs and am involved academically as a result. And our NGO also sponsors some religious, basically Catholic university teams that have gone to Haiti. So I did want to disclose that. So there's a lot to consider if you want to volunteer. It's a dangerous world out there. I could get sick, or I could hurt, or maybe I could die, or what about my family? I got loans to pay back. I don't have enough vacation time. I can't afford the income loss in my practice. Maybe I better do this when I retire. Oh, I'm not religious. Well, I'm not sure what I'd be asked to do, and I really am not sure how to start. And today's world really is a mess. There's terrorism, violence, threats are everywhere. There's threat of fatal and crippling disease if we're thinking about going somewhere. We had Ebola in Africa, chikungunya and Zika all over the Caribbean and in this hemisphere. Cholera, malaria, typhoid, dengue, TB, AIDS, all the various diseases that can frighten us and keep us away. Kidnapping, big problem. Political violence. And then there's the anti-American hatred and violence occurring in many parts of the world. And maybe we should just listen to others and just stay home. Why would anybody really want to try and help? Can we actually make a difference? And is the risk really worth it? Well, I'm pretty sure that the global panel's answers that you're going to hear from all of us today is yes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story because I think it's rather typical. I went to Haiti as a young surgeon. Basically, I was asked to help, and I said yes. I brought a small surgery team with me, and we did a bunch of surgery. I liked it. As a result, I returned with more people, and they liked it too. And then things started to change. The I started to become a we. And the group that I was with really wanted to be more serious about it. So we started a 501c3. As a result of that, our work dramatically expanded. And we switched from doing things to teaching things. And we actually asked what they needed, not what we thought they needed. And at first, when we got down there, it was amazing, incredible pathology, massive tumors, hernias that I've never seen sizes like this that you needed a wheelbarrow for. Medical students that came along got their first cases. It was exciting for everybody. We brought along a lot of other specialists with us that when we saw the incredible needs, like teenagers who had never had a chance to have cleft surgery. You find a little boy like this who's in the dark corner of a hospital, afraid to show his face and not able to go to school, unable to eat or speak, and bring him to the operating room and give him a new face and a new life. Absolutely amazing. Our 501c3 started to do lots of things, and this was with the help of a lot of people who, as our team started to expand. We now have had over 700 volunteers, medical people primarily, but all walks of life. We've donated a lot of supplies annually and equipment, designed and built 3 major expansions to a small hospital in Haiti, completed a dorm facility so we could stay there, constructed an airport so we could fly our teams in and out, built a primary school once we saw the need for all the kids to go to school, built an orphanage for all the orphans in Haiti that were down there, helped develop mothers clubs, Rotary clubs, built homes for the homeless, developed solar projects, battery energy storage, sewage systems, et cetera. And as our mission shifted from doing things to teaching, that became more exciting as we could bring more teaching teams down with us. So teaching wasn't something that I really started off feeling that that was what I needed to do, but as I started to work with Haitian surgeons, they really asked for help. And it became clear to me that we were in this fantastic laparoendoscopic revolution back in the States, and they said, yeah, they really wanted to know about that, and could we do that? And that's when I found the applications for MIS surgery to mean a lot more to someone of low means than someone in the United States. In Haiti, you have to bring someone to the hospital to cook for you because there's no food services, and the patients were so poor that it was difficult for them to have their family fed at home and also be able to feed the loved one that was going to be at the hospital, sometimes for a month, because they had to wait till all the sutures were out. They had enough strength to walk over mountains and across rivers and things like that, so the hospitalizations were long. So MIS really made sense. And so I started to lead a crusade in the 90s to teach MIS in low-income countries. That led to us building the first telecommunicating endo suite in a little town of Pignon with no running water, no electricity. We're dedicated in 2003. Great help from our industry partners with this. I asked for help on it, and they gave it. You know, and then we thought there must be a better mousetrap for teaching, because in the first lap chole that we did there with 27 people in the operating room, it was a little bit hard to teach. So we thought we needed some help in education. So we asked some people in the telecommunications industry to come down and help us, built a distance learning classroom, and able to get bidirectional audio and video so we could have residents and faculty being trained, and then of course started working with the faculty so that they could train their own residents when we weren't there. FLS, on the right there you can see our virtual reality trainer. It's called a GOAT, and that's how we get access to the peritoneum, trocar practice, etc. And it comes in handy because you can actually have a GOAT Barbie later that night. This was the precursor to Fuse. That was our energy program, trying to teach local docs how we use energy in the United States. After many, many trips, we've trained over about 250 surgeons, OBGYN, general surgery, urology, over the years now. But it's not so much just the classroom and the didactics. What really is going to make a difference is the telementoring that we now do after we started with just mentoring, where we could take a doctor and show them the skill transfer, and then later on we had the opportunity to do telementoring, which we covered in another session earlier. But it's really developing these friendships with the surgeons and that trust relationship so that they can move to that next step and become independent. And then you hope that one day like this, when I got this nice email picture of two Haitian surgeons that we taught, white balancing with the anesthesiologist on a white piece of paper, which I'd never done before. I thought that was pretty cool. And you know, here they are independently performing laparoscopic surgery without me. I'm at home. That's the goal. Everything changed for Haiti on January 12th, 2010. Late that afternoon, in 45 seconds, 250,000 people died, crushed under rubble, with the worst hemisphere disaster that we've seen. 316,000 people were killed, 300,000 injured, 1 million people displaced and homeless. Many are still homeless to this day. Absolutely amazing amount of damage in the Port-au-Prince area. Hillsides completely collapsing, leading to the world's largest living mausoleum. We had the opportunity to assist with some of the trauma teams that we had. Many people who had gone before wanted to go again. I'm going to leave that to Dr. Wren. She'll be talking about some of these things after me. But what our teams found was so tragic. Come into a city like this where this beautiful little girl crushed by a concrete slab in her school, dead, nothing to do. Couldn't even get some of these people out of there for months. So what did SAGES do? Well, SAGES responded, and they asked what they could do to help. And we brought down several people. In fact, Dr. Berger will be talking to you. He'll be talking about checklists. He was the one who went down and did the site visit to look at whether it was possible for us to do something there. And then we decided that they needed basic resident education. And the reason for that was because they had lost half of their university hospitals and their medical school had completely collapsed. And we thought if we could just bridge the gap by giving them basic surgical training and support, that maybe by the time they could rebuild their hospital, they would still have the courage to keep moving forward. They lost over 1,000 doctors in that earthquake. So we decided to deliver a series of video conferences from SAGES professors in the United States, where we would highlight key surgical diseases based on the SCORE curriculum. This would allow a bidirectional communication between our renowned educators and SAGES and the Haitian audience. This engaged our academic communities in the United States with surgeons in Haiti and led to incredible improvements for doctors, hospitals, and patients in Haiti. Here's a shot of our first conference with Dr. Price, who's right next to me, and this was in Pignon in our teleconference room, and he was teaching the SAGES guidelines to laparoscopy and pregnancy in our students from OBGYN and general surgery that were learning laparoscopy that week. This was a SAGES IPC course, and the first one held in Haiti. IPC stands for International Proctoring Course. Absolutely phenomenal course, and our last speaker, I think, is going to talk to you a little bit about some of the exciting things that are coming up in education and SAGES in the future. This was our first successful conference at the university distance learning classroom that we had to set up. They had no internet. We had to find a classroom facility. We did at the public health department, which is right across the street from the surgical area, and we were able to get the equipment set up, find the people in telecommunications, and make it happen. Since that time, we've had 30 teleconferences over the last 3 years, and we're now connected to every residency program in the country. We can have up to 3,000 people join on their PCs and their iPhones or any device that they have through a Zoom-based platform. I want to thank all the contributors from SAGES. These are many of the people who stepped forward and said, I'll be willing to give a lecture. They developed this, and we have captured and archived all these programs. Special thanks to Mike Evans, who made all this happen by donating the telecommunications. So, what about you guys? Well, you should know who you are, because the opportunities are usually right in front of you. If you're academic, you should find out where your academic center is already going. Most of the programs now in the United States are very interested in global health. They have programs where there's people probably already going. If yours isn't going, then there's going to be other academic centers that you're connected with that might have an opportunity. Find out who's in that center, talk to them, ask them how you can help. Now, if you're a religious person and you go to church and you could go on a faith-based type mission experience, fantastic. Find out what's available through your church, and you might find out there's more than you thought was possible once you ask. If you have neither of those opportunities, then maybe you could be like me. You go through a NGO, a non-government organization, and there's lots of them out there. There's huge ones. We got, of course, our own SAGES Go Global. Then there's the ACS, Operation Giving Back operation. Lots and many surgeons have served through that. You have Mercyship, et cetera, and those are just the big ones. And there are hundreds of opportunities out there if you're interested, and it's not that hard to ask at your local academic institution, particularly if you're a resident. So what are the steps to short-term success? Learn about the culture. Focus on sensitivity to that culture, and be humble. As you know, you're an American, you know a lot, I get it, but you know, you're going to learn a lot from them too. So humility is very important and key character, but when you go down there for you to be accepted. Establish local contacts. That's really important to be successful in your work. Respect and friendship is so important to build these local contacts. And do what you do best. Don't do something you're not really capable of doing. There's a lot of people, they're surgeons and they go somewhere to go painting or something. You know, use the talents that God's given you to be able to help other people with what you know how to do. And if it works out well, return to the same place. Going back to the same place means so much to the people that are there, and you won't really change things that much if you just skipping around and become a medical tourist. So try to commit yourself to one place if possible. It'll work out better for everybody in the long run. And then if it's possible for you to actually establish a 501c3, do it. It's amazing what will happen in your life after that. So low and middle income countries need our help. Volunteers with diverse talents and all faiths are needed. Corporations with a philanthropic heart, and there's a lot of them, will respond to your requests. Philanthropists should visit and come with you. If you know someone who wants to help, bring them with you, show it to them. They will sponsor these projects, one right after the other. Provide your skills and services, but aim for leadership and training. So, where do I start? How can I help? Well, say yes when an opportunity arises. Have courage. Just go. And if you like it, bring your family. It'll change your whole family's life. Encourage your local teams and volunteers. It'll help your hospital immeasurably. You'll get better workers, better esprit de corps, better people, better values, better missions, better goals at your hospital if you do this. And of course, give money generously. So how best can I contribute? Well, the world is a mess. Situations seem hopeless and dangerous. Organizations and governments seem paralyzed. So the answers to the questions, is it really worth the expense and effort? I think I'm going to say an unqualified yes. I'm pretty sure that everybody on this panel will. And how do we start? Well, you start person to person, one life at a time. And how do we finish? Teach one, reach many. Please join us. Thank you.